All right. Questions? Some countries are trying to shut down care for elderly. It is against God's will to not treat sickness for those that may be near death. So actually, it's a weird process when you talk about medical treatment in general, right? Because there are some people that are of the belief that any medical treatment is outside of God's will. Did I talk about this a little bit during Sunday service, like briefly? So the idea of getting any medical treatment at all, because God can just heal people and they can just, if God wants them to be healed, he would just heal them. If they wanted them hooked to machines and stuff, like my sister was on dialysis. In order to live, she had to be hooked to a machine every, I think it was Monday, Wednesday, Friday, right? So this is lengthening her life, right? It is taking a kidney out of one person, putting it in another person. It's lengthening a life. You think about God's will and his ability to help people. Is it our obligation as a society to keep people alive? I would say yes, right? As if we have the capability and ability to do so, we should do so, right? I think God gives us the gift of medical capabilities and abilities to do that. As far as God's will is an interesting way to ask that question, because we're all going to die. Is anybody surprised by that? You're all probably going to die. If you don't die, you may not die if the Lord comes, but odds are, if the last 2,000 years has been any indication of statistics, you're probably going to die, okay? The question is how long and how, right? How long will you live and how will you die? Is it, especially government's healthcare responsibility, to make sure you live longer? Or is it your own medical responsibility? Because it says countries are potentially going to deny health care for the elderly. Well, is it the country's responsibility to make sure their citizens live longer, or is it your individual medical responsibility to allow yourself to live longer? Because in my opinion, if I'm 80 and this is how my grandfather went out. He had cancer. Hey, you have 6 months to live if you don't treat it. And he goes, all right, cool. Do you want us to treat it? He's like, no. I'm why not? It's because I've lived for 80 years. I don't want the last 6 months to be miserable. So I'll just, go out. Because he's strong and he's crazy, he lived for about another 4 more years. But the idea was he wasn't on chemo, he wasn't sick, he wasn't puking all over the place, he wasn't in radiation. It wasn't just a miserable process of trying to live another, according to doctors, 6 more months. So I think healthcare and God's will is discernible only by the individual, definitely not by the country. A whole country has never been able to discern God's will, but individuals can. So you, as an individual, have to determine what kind of medical care you need and what kind of medical care you'll pay for. The country, of all things, shouldn't be determining whether or not someone should get medical care or not. That should be done, in my opinion, privately. That falls more of a political thing, but I don't have a Bible verse to reference this, right? I mean, even Jesus didn't rush to the aid of Lazarus. He's like, he'll be fine. I'm well, he's near dead. He's like, yeah, he'll be fine, right? And then he gets there, he says, the sickness is not unto death. He ends up dying 3 days, resurrects him. In my opinion, Lazarus was more annoyed that he was resurrected than he was dead. If he was dead and he believed in Jesus Christ, he was in heaven. So his soul got ripped out of heaven back into this meat sack and had to walk around this for another time, and then he had to die again. It's not like he lived eternally. So death is nothing to be afraid of, and I don't think it's anything that needs to be postponed. I understand surviving and taking care of your body and doing all those things. God gave you a body, you should be a good steward of it. But as far as trying to live to 115 years old, why? In my opinion. But I'm only 38, so I'm not knocking on death's door right now physically. So, go ahead. Yeah, I mean, they keep eating the way I eat, maybe.
Weird shape. You.
Circles of shape. If I were given a vision, if I were given a vision telling me the week of the Zad coming, the week of the second coming, that's a 2. All right. If I were given a vision telling me the week of the second coming, could that be biblically accurate? Yes, but you can't share it. Visions and dreams, if God speaks directly to you, it's only meant for you. I would keep it, honestly, if you got a vision of the second coming, I promise you'll do better keeping that to yourself, just in case you're mistaken about the vision, right? Let's say the heaven earth opened up to you and you could see God sitting there and a voice speaking to you. By the way, the one that you asked during lunch, I already wrote that down and put that in the box. So if it's in there twice, it's fine. All right. So if the heaven opened up to you only, and you saw God sitting there and all the vision that Dad describes during Revelation Bible study, and the Lord says, January 30th, I will be coming.
My birth.
Yeah, January 30th, I'm gonna come back, and I'm gonna rapture my church. Hold on, and that will be the second coming, right? Are we going to talk about dispensationalism?
I'm not sure exactly what that means. I just wanted to ask.
Go ahead.
You said January 31st. That would be
30th.
the day. Or
30th.
That would be the day, not the week.
It's this week.
Well, yeah.
It's still this week.
Yes, but it's not telling you the week.
So I told them both, I'm God, so I gave them both the day and the week.
Doesn't the Bible say that no one will know?
Right.
Day?
So what I'm saying is, if the Lord revealed that to you, that it said the day or the hour, go ahead, give it a week, fine. And this week I'm coming, sometime this week. You don't know the day or the hour, but the week I've given you, right? So that was the stipulation. It's contrary to God's word if it's the exact day. So he gives you the week, right? I would keep that to myself. Because I tell you, I don't know about you, but I have some pretty weird dreams sometimes. And I think they're real. And if I share every single one of them, people are going to think I'm crazy. And just in case, you should live your life the same way either way. Regardless of whether or not God tells you explicitly that he's going to be coming back this week, you should live your life as if the Lord was coming back this week. You should share the gospel the same way. You should enjoy your life the same way. I'm not saying like, if you found out you only had 24 hours to live, what would you do? And you're like, I would rob every grocery store on the planet so I could have everything I wanted for one day, punch the president in the face and kick the first lady in the shins and giggle and run out that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you should live your life as if, you enjoy your life as if you only had a week left, because it may be. So either way, I wouldn't go on TV and be like, well, the Lord spoke to me and told me we'd be, raptured in a week. Because when that doesn't happen, you look like a crazy person, and you're the person that predicted. People do it all the time. I mean, I don't know if you saw the movie, what was it, 2020, something like that, where there's a December, the Aztec calendar said that the world was going to end at a certain time. It was probably a garbage movie, but the millennium, people thought when the clocks clicked over to the year 2000. Y2K, yeah, thanks. That everybody was going to die, that was when the machines were going to take over. So I would just keep that kind of crazy stuff to yourself. That's just me. Do you have questions? You just rip up a bunch of paper to make more trash from my floor. Struggling a lot in my life recently. All right, hold on. I got to read this first and see if there's a question before I read this out loud. What do I do? I would say take this question to me. It's a personal question. As far as your mother having difficulty with mental instability, that is the case with most parents. And I'm not being joking. I'm saying that's real. And they need to go see counseling. But if they're not going to see that counseling, then you're going to, then you just, like, that's the way it is. However, my wife's father is also this way. And it was just the way it is. Let's see. There's nothing that's broken beyond repair. So even if you feel like your mental state is broken, it's difficult, it's not beyond repair, it can be fixed. Your grades can also be fixed. This is a state of working hard and doing what you need to do to get your grades better. Your relationship with Christ, again, all of that religious stuff is something that's not beyond repair. It's something you work on. You physically, of course, cannot make yourself believe because it's not a physical thing. It's a spiritual thing. You can't make yourself believe anything. You either do or don't. And your prayer is an element of that communication with the Lord. So whether or not you feel like it's going to change you or not, prayer doesn't change you. That's not what prayer is for. And it's not a list of demands. You cannot demand God do anything for you. It is a help for you. Prayer is a help for you in the way it is communication, talking to somebody. Except for this person that you're talking to is God, who can actually potentially do something or not do something. The problem, I think, reading this, is the issue is you're expecting God to do something for you when that's not necessarily what God wants for you. And the other question is, how can God be real when I'm experiencing 24/7 misery? Let me tell you a story about a young girl who was born sick. She was born so sick that she was just regularly pale and skinny. And she couldn't eat. So when she ate, she'd most of the time get sick. It didn't matter what her mother made, what her mom made for her. Her mom just thought she was being picky. So every now and then she'd eat something and her mom would sit and force her to eat that dinner. And she couldn't finish that dinner. She physically couldn't do it. So she'd scrape it behind the oven or throw it in the toilet or find some sneaky way to hide the food that she couldn't eat. She goes up her whole life until she's about 9 years old. And a school nurse discovers there's something wrong with her. They can't really figure out what it is. It's early 90s, mid-90s. Couldn't really figure out what it is. This girl is 9, 10 years old. They discover that she has a problem with her kidneys. What's happened is there's a genetic disorder that normally they can catch early, but they didn't, where the ureter from the kidney to the bladder is not fully developed or connected, so it back pitches into the kidney. And so it makes your kidneys work twice as hard than they would normally work. This is me, non-medical, trying to explain the situation. So at 10 years old, she began wearing another diaper as they start working through figuring out how to fix this problem. 10, young girl, eventually soon going through puberty. All right, then they determine that she needs to go on dialysis. Now, I don't know if you know what dialysis is, but it's normally for old people whose kidneys are beginning to fail, right? That's the whole point. Basically works as a machine kidney. It's a kidney that's about that tall that you take and you put one needle in and it drains, it goes through the machine and filters it and then puts the blood back into your body. It takes about 3 hours to do. So hook up to that machine. Sick all the time still. Now hooked up to a machine. This is about 11 years old. And constantly sick. Constantly. Skinny. She probably weighed 80 pounds up until her freshman or sophomore year of high school. So freshman, she's going to dialysis, doing school, can't do the sport she loves because she grew up with 4 other brothers and like that was the way her life was. Sports, football, all that stuff, she can't do it. I think she wanted to play basketball more than anything else, and she wanted to play physical basketball because that's what her brothers did, right? She wanted to foul out every time because she was just an aggressive weirdo like that, okay? Sophomore year, again, maybe 100 pounds. They find a donor for her kidney. She can have a transplant. So that year, she signs up. She gets a kidney transplant. Her junior year, she balloons up to maybe about 160, 170 pounds. She's about 4 feet, 5 inches. Now, maybe 4, she's a little taller than that. She's about 5 feet tall, give or take. Short. She grows hair on her shoulders, more than mine. Hair on her face because of the steroids in order to not reject this. She's a sophomore in high school. She's dealing with all the attractions to boys and all the things that all of you deal with. But now, physically, is struggling with all that. Boys no longer talk to her the way they used to. They no longer give her the attention that they used to. They treat her difficult, all right? She goes to a youth group, about 5, 6 boys, again, similarly. She has crushes on them still, but they just treat her friend zone, basically, okay? She moves out of the house. She moves in with her brother. She struggles with her transplant still and her self-image. She intentionally stops taking her medication and her kidney rejects. All right? Now she doesn't have any kidneys at all. She has to go back on dialysis. She's back on dialysis, and there's a timeline. Each port eventually decays and stops being useful. You do both wrists, both arms, both legs, and after that, you're out of ports. Starts going through that whole process of figuring it out. She eventually meets a man. This man's not a believer, but he's a man, a real man. Someone who would take care of her, someone who works hard, serious. But remember, from the time she was born to now, she's been sick her whole life. She doesn't know a day of health, right? Her diet's always weird. She's always struggling. And from then to her mid-30s or early 30s, there's not a single organ in her body that has not failed in some way, shape, or form. She's randomly fainting, randomly passing out. She's at this point, the technology's gotten cool enough where she can almost potentially forever be on dialysis. She could just plug her own ports in. 36, she dies. She passes out and hits her head on the ground. Now, this girl gets baptized at 9 years old, almost the same exact time she finds out what's going on with her. Saved younger, probably. She was saved in a Awana program. Now, going through all this situation, going in and out of hospitals, constantly dealing with this pain, one of the things that's always asked about her is, how do you hold on to your faith? How do you recognize God? You are so strong. How does someone like you have the strength to do this? She's like, I'm not strong. Look at me. Look at my physical appearance. I'm not strong. I am weak. God is strong. And this is her mantra for her whole life. I'm 38. I officially outlived my sister by 2 years. Your life is fine. Most of you. Your life is okay. It could be a whole lot worse. Most of the things you go through are situational and within your control. It's an attitude, it's a thought process, it's something that's happening. I hate to say things like get over it, but it's hard not to. One of the things about being a pastor is your empathy level. You only have so much, right? You're trying to feel what other people feel and deal what they deal with, but you witness something like that. Her whole life, having empathy is hard. So here's the deal. Life sucks. It does. It's miserable. It's difficult. Some people say wear a helmet, right? That's the joke. Life's difficult. I don't deny it. It's not going to get easier. I promise you that. All right? It's not the difficulties in your life that you're going to fix. And God may not fix it either. How many times do you think people prayed for my sister to help her get better? Constant. It was on every prayer list probably from here to Philadelphia. She never got healed until the day the Lord took her. Then she's not sick anymore. All right? So I'm not trying to demean misery. I understand misery. I get it. I have not been in the position that she was in. I couldn't imagine being in that position. I've been gifted with physical health and I've had physical problems with my health. I put myself there. All right? But I'm telling you, God is real even to those who are miserable. Especially to those who are miserable. All right? He allows that misery so you depend on him more. Not yourself, and not to get you out of that misery, but he may decide to keep you in that misery because you need to be an example to other people. Look at what I've gone through. Look at what's happened to me. Look at what I'm going through and the Lord's bringing me out of. All right? That's why he does it. Paul says it myself. In my weakness, he is made strong. All right? I understand it. I have anxiety, depression, PTSD myself. I've seen more dead bodies probably than any living bodies I've seen. Hundreds and hundreds all at once. All right? I've seen it. I've been through it. It's been difficult. Right? I would love to stop having nightmares and dreams and difficult things. It'd be great. But what's a pastor if he's perfect? You got to have flaws. You got to have issues. You got to have problems because that's this world and that's what this world deals with. That's what you interact with, people with flaws and difficulties and issues. That's how you become relatable. Try talking to somebody who's spoiled, whose life is great, and then them telling you about God. Really hard to believe. Then listen to somebody who's really struggled and allowed God to get them through it. It's a completely different experience. I have time for one more. What's my favorite fast food chain? What's my favorite fast food chain? That's a heavy. Chick-fil-A probably. Do you know what I don't like? So I was driving from Maine to Pennsylvania, and I stopped by White Castle. Have you had White Castle before? It's hot, stinking garbage. It was like I was walking through the streets of Boston and a homeless guy gave me 2 cheeseburgers. That's White Castle. I'm saying that online right now on the universe of Spotify. It was gross. I like Chick-fil-A. There's not much Chick-fil-A makes that I don't like. I would say their breakfast menu, I haven't gone to Zaxby's in years. Chick-fil-A, as far as fast food chain, there's more of them. I would probably not go to Chick-fil-A for breakfast if I had a fast food choice for breakfast. But
what would that be for breakfast?
What? McDonald's.
Oh yeah, just egg and cheese.
Yeah.
White Castle burgers are better than the ones from the restaurant.
I'm sure they are. Yeah. I like steak, egg, and cheese bagels. I mean, fast food. I'm done doing fast food for the most part if I can avoid it. How much? Okay, hold on. How much would I pay for an extra hour of sleep where you're still awake at the same time? So it's like it's an hour of sleep, feeling I'm asleep.
Oh, where you can get rest and get work done.
Right. How much would I pay for that? Let's say, how much would I pay if I didn't have to sleep at all but feel rested? Because there's nothing enjoyable. All right. I'm going to rewind back to the heavy thing I just said maybe 7 minutes ago. There's nothing enjoyable about me sleeping. It's not over relaxing. And I'm let's say 25% of the time I'm afraid of sleeping because my brain functions on a different level when my eyes are closed and I'm asleep. I'm not trying to freak you all out by saying that. This is your reality. So if I could stay awake, I guess I could pay what I could afford. Sleeping doesn't really bother me too much, but if I could afford maybe $10 an hour for 8 hours to not sleep, I'd probably pay that. What, Moses? Falling asleep. Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
The Carmel waterfall.
I like getting like weird fever dreams. So.
I like getting
All right. If you received a vision, heads up. Listen. Hey, I'm talking. If you received a vision that's effective immediately, that proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that you had 10 minutes to live, what would you do? 10 minutes. All right, first of all, just so you know, 10 minutes if I'm running is me to the post office, all right? So there's not much I would do. 10 minutes is nothing. Right, yeah.
Call your mom.
Well, no, I mean, this is recorded. No, that wouldn't be an option. 10 minutes.
What was the question?
If I had 10 minutes, if I knew without a shadow of a doubt I had 10 minutes to live, I'd probably go home and start talking to my family and then die in the middle of that lecture. What?
No. So in 10 minutes you could make it to the restaurant that's like right over there.
If I'm driving,
No, there's a restaurant like right there within like walking distance.
Brickstone, yeah, but I'm not gonna order the meal. I'll get the opportunity to sit down at the table and then or walk there now, they're closed.
You can frame somebody for murdering you.
You would start giving us the lecture, and your lecture would be so long, you would get to the part.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to get to the point that, hey, I just got a vision that I was going to die in 10 minutes. I'd just start telling you guys how much I love you, and then I'd die, and then you'd be like, I have 4 minutes. No, I have 4 minutes till I'm done with this podcast, with this question asked. All right, listen. Pro-choicers say, pro-choicers,
This one's a long one. I wouldn't.
that when people are taken off life support, it's the same as abortion, since we're taking the life away. What do you say about that to show that this argument is false? There's a lot of things you can call that argument. It's not they call it non sequitur or it's a red herring. Neither of those things equivalent. Taking somebody off of life support is not one. I don't know the moral implications about whether that's right or wrong anyways.
Well, people say like the mother is the baby's life support. I'm like, that's
Right.
So when you take
But
away
that fair.
life support, you kill it.
Yeah. So, okay, fine. Let's say that both are murder. Now what's your argument? Both are murder. You're murdering somebody if you take them off life support, and you're murdering a baby if you take them off life support. One thing you're not doing when you take somebody off life support is ripping their arms and legs and heads off. You're just unplugging it. So what you can do is just deliver the baby. If you want to unplug it from its life support, in 9 months, it'll be delivered. But one thing we're not doing is making scrambled eggs of the person that is on life support. I'm just saying, I know that's graphic, but graphic is important so you understand what's happening. It's not the same. The procedure for pulling somebody off of life support is literally this. All right? It's not anything like what an abortion is, first of all, because it's violent and brutal and it's not a medical procedure in any way, shape, or form. If you want to take that baby, and that's what it is, if you, anybody know what the word fetus means?
Ew.
It's Latin for a baby, just so you know. If you want to take that baby off life support, then fine, deliver the baby. That's an easy way to take care of that situation. And it's not permanent, full-time. If you had life support that you knew in 9 months, you could take that person off life support.
And they would live.
Yeah, you would not be like, well, I mean, 9 months is a long time to wait, and it's a burden on the hospital, and, you know, we have beds to fill. 9 months, sorry, boop. No. You say, all right, 9 months, 9 months. It's not that big of a deal. It's like 9 months is literally what most women on the entire planet do at least once, right? If not more. So I think you can handle it, right? So, yeah, no, that's a bad argument, Patrick. Life support,
It'd be like more of a Karen thing.
well, it'd be more of a person who just wants to make an argument about it and then make a non-moral argument of something.
Literally murder.
Right, yeah. And it's called both of them murder. But let's just say permanent life support versus a 9-month life support. You pick. Say 9 months this person will live. No, it's the same thing, just unplug it. It's a burden on the hospital. Get out of here. All right. You can always fill this up. Hey, there's ways to get a hold of me for these questions if you don't feel like filling out the piece of paper. I had 3 that I filled out myself and put in the box randomly. I don't know if you comment on Spotify, but you can message me on Facebook. You could put it in the Discord, if you're on Discord with Moses or something, he could tell me, I'll write it down. Or Gwen, or you can ask Gwen. Gwen will text me and I'll write it down. There's a lot of ways to fill in for these questions.